What's up, everybody? Noah Kisser back here for a new episode of What We Watched in March. Now, I know you guys are used to Kyle. He has some stuff going on, so we decided to postpone that show, and it may come back at a later date. But I wanted to do this because I loved doing this. This gave you guys more reviews. It gave you a look at what I was watching, what he was watching. But I'm here with one of my best friends. This is not going to be my regular co-host. I'm going to try and get somebody new every once in a while, but hey, if this works out, him and I talk movies literally, every day?
Pretty much, yes, every day.
Every day. So This is Luke Ponto. How are you doing, good sir?
I'm doing pretty good, man. And thank you so much for, of course, inviting me on, man. You're the best.
Of course. I was going to do this as just a regular video, but I figured let's do a live stream, and we're going to try this vertically and landscape-wise. Because I figured let's just do it. So how this is going to work, you guys know how this works if you watched mine and Kyle's show before. We are going to pop up our letterbox. I have both of mine and Luke's on here right now, and we will go back and forth between 1 week of what we watched, say from the 1st of the month to the 8th, then to the 15th, 22nd, and then the 22nd through the end of the month. So
yes, sir.
I'm going to start this off because I'm a greedy bastard.
Yippee.
And it's my show, and I can do whatever the hell I want.
It's your show, dude.
I'm joking.
It's your show.
Here we go. So, before we start this off, Luke, how many movies did you watch this month? I personally watched 69 movies this month.
I watched 75 movies. I was going to make a joke that you watched 69 movies and be like, oh, he watched the dirty number of movies, guys. I'm just kidding.
Just wait. I'm trying to get into the groove of watching more movies because I like watching a lot of movies, and I'm trying to expand my taste. As you guys will see here, I watched a lot of different stuff than I usually would. So
I kind of did the same for mine as well. So
yeah. And by the way, we do look at what each other watches, but it's an entire month. There's no way that we're going to be able to remember what each other watched. So let's get right into it.
For sure.
Is going to start off with Cinderella. I watched this because I figured I wanted something short before, and I got up that day and I said, I don't want to watch anything like super gory, super R-rated. I just want something charming, because charming is what you need when you had a hard day the day before. Cinderella did that for me. It's an hour and 15 minutes. It doesn't overstay its welcome whatsoever. And neither does Stuart Little. It's a childhood classic for me. I enjoy that one. I own the VHS tape. I even remember watching the beginning of that tape. I think the intros were like Little Secrets, The Masters of Disguise. I've always loved that movie. Next up was The Innkeepers. I watched this one because I thought I watched it before. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought I watched it. Apparently, I watched about the first 20 minutes of it when I was younger, and I don't remember any of it at all. So I watched it, and I will say that the lead performances are very good. There's just not a lot of creepy atmosphere to the movie. There are moments that are good, but it's Ty West's weakest film, produced by a big budget a big studio that isn't like a Wild Eye, a Uncorked, something like that. I really do enjoy this film for what it is. It's just not my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Next up is Dumb and Dumber. I wanted to watch this just because it's something light after The Innkeepers. With a horror movie, I do enjoy horror. Don't get me wrong. I do. It's just not for me.
Just not your genre. Like
it's not my genre, but the more I watch it, the more I enjoy it. Dumb and Dumber, I hadn't watched it yet this year. I watch it multiple times a year. Dumb and Dumber is one of those where I just pop it in. I have a great time with it. I know the lines. I know what's going to happen. Do I care? Not really. Everyone's seen Dumb and Dumber.
Right.
And then, as you can see there, I got my screener for War Machine. I watched this one a couple days early. I was also in the process of watching Virgin River Season 7 to talk about on the Heartfelt Hallmark podcast. Check that out. And I gotta say, this was a really solid film. There's nothing great about it, though. There are moments here and there where it's bloody, it has some good gore, a semi-decent story, but what you're watching it for is the blow-up action. And for that aspect, I enjoyed it a lot.
All right. That is what I'm going to talk about here when we get to my list.
Then after that, I wanted something a little bit different. So I've been in to watch this for a long time. The Spectacular Now, a rom-com drama, a rom-dramedy is what I'm calling it. It's not really a rom-com. It's about this guy played by Miles Teller who is basically falling for his first girlfriend, well, his first real girlfriend in Shailene Woodley, and it's their relationship. He's also in love with his ex-girlfriend who treated him horribly. This is a very profound, deep, moving, romantic film that works on almost every aspect. The only thing I didn't like about it is the ending. The ending is one of those where, yes, we know what's going to happen, but it's A24. And what A24 does is they do these endings at some points. Luke is a big A24 guy, so he knows what I mean. They go the generic route. And if you go with the generic route and you're watching A24, that's not what you want. You want something different because they are a different studio. No other studio is going to put out something like Midsummer or Heretic.
Or what's another one? Like an Eddington. Like,
and Eddington. You watch it for different. This was different. And there are moments here and there where Miles Teller is so unlikable because you can see that he deeply loves this girl. She's falling for him. I mean, this is teenage love like we've seen in multiple movies, but with the best chemistry possible. I watched a lot of movies in March that had to do with love and with dating. So I guess you could say it was a theme, but this is just one where I wanted more from it. A great film.
There you go.
Next up, and yes, I am counting these, the Three Stooges shorts. Violent is the word for curly. This is the famous one where they do the ABC song. B-A-B-B-A-B-B-I-B-B-I-B-O. We all know it.
Of course. You got to love the Three Stooges.
Then I went with Grips, Grunts, and Groans. This is one basically about him being a wrestler. And Punch Drunks. Punch Drunks, where he is a boxer, and the song Pop Goes the Weasel makes him go insane. Curly is the best Stooge, in my opinion. I think he is the best third Stooge.
He's great.
Nothing against Joe, or Shemp. I love Shemp. Don't get me wrong, but he's not Curly.
Like, it's just Curly's delivery, like, whenever it comes to quite a bit of his, like, lines. Like, what happened? Like,
exactly.
It's genuinely funny.
And I don't care who you are. If you don't like the Three Stooges, I can't trust you as a person. I just can't trust you.
I grew up with the Three Stooges, man. Like, it was because of my grandparents and also my dad. So, because my dad had the 3-pack of VHSs that had like Dizzy Doctors, False Alarms, and Hoi Polloi.
Yeah.
And I watched the Hoi Polloi one because that also had another one of my favorites, A Gem of a Jam, on it. Yep. Like, on repeat, dude. Like, those are hilarious.
My favorite, it's a generic one, but it might be the Disorder in the Court, Brideless Groom, Three Little Pigskins, Violent is the word for curly is definitely one I love, but
I think mine has to be Dizzy Doctors. I just love that part, like when they get back to the doctor's office and it's like, yeah, took the paint right off. That polish ain't no good. Polish, you idiots. That's medicine. Medicine. Oh, I feel better already. What was wrong with you? Nothing.
I love the Three Stooges, and there will be a few more of these shorts on here. Next up is a movie that I don't think Luke has heard of.
Nope.
A Fool and His Money. So A Fool and His Money is about this ad executive and he seems to have it all, and a beautiful girlfriend named Debbie. When he loses his job, he decides to use his advertising expertise to create and package and market a shady product. But Debbie tries to convince him that money isn't everything. He's trying to get millions. She loves him just the way he is. But Morris's bizarre antics in promoting his products surprisingly lead to a fortune. But can love survive his quest for the almighty dollar? Spoiler alert! This movie's garbage. It is garbage. This is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. This movie was like a fart in the wind. It came and it went at 81 minutes. It's not funny and it's hateful. This movie, I hate to say it. How many times, Luke, have I said that a movie is hateful?
I barely even ever hear you say that. Like,
this movie is hateful. It is hateful towards a lot of different groups. I will say that groups. I'm not going to go into which groups, but if you watch the movie, don't watch it because it is god awful. But if you watch it, you will know what I mean. And if you hear my dog barking, I deeply apologize. The Princess Bride. I wanted to go from a half-star movie because I can't give something 0 stars to a 5-star movie. The Princess Bride is one of the greatest movies ever made. It is highly quotable, and it's just a masterpiece in romance, action, drama, fantasy, comedy. It's everything. I really enjoy this movie. Next up on the 6th, I was at my grandma's. I was on my way to my grandma's, and I didn't watch anything. I basically just wanted to watch a short. So I went with Good Old Liable, Three Stooges, Disorder in the Court. We all know this one. It is in the public domain, but just because it's in the public domain doesn't mean it's a bad one. This is the first Three Stooges short I believe I ever saw, was Disorder in the Court. It was in color. There was a old DVD, I believe, from Mill Creek, or like Multicom, one of those like packs that came with 4 shorts and then a movie. This is one that I just love. One I didn't love, though, was Don't Move.
it was fun. Like, it was fun enough.
It's fun, but sitting there, you're just waiting for something to happen. Yes, she can't move. That's the movie. She's paralyzed. But you're just watching it and nothing's happening. Nobody's likable. Nobody is having a good time. You're just watching this, seeing her suffer. And yes, she gets her way in the end. And that was nice to see. Very bloody, very gory. I like that personally. Might not be for everybody else, but I enjoyed it well enough. And then I did Bruce Almighty. It's Jim Carrey. He's playing God. He learns not to play God. We've seen Bruce Almighty.
Of course.
And I believe that will be it. Now, I will also say that this show, I'm going to ask that we do not swear a lot.
Okay.
Just because some people in the chat and also people I know that watch have asked us not to curse as much. So I'm going to cut back on the cursing. I'm not going to mandate it, but I just ask that we don't swear as much.
Okay.
Okay, so now for Luke. Luke watches a crap ton of movies, a lot more different than I am. So this is just one guy that I needed to have on because 75 movies in a month, yes, that's a lot, but he doesn't watch as many shorts as
Right.
I do. He mainly watches a lot of horror, a lot of other stuff. So let's get right into Luke's list. And yes, I'll be taking control of this stream. So go ahead, Luke.
All right. So on March 1st, I did a little Frankenstein double feature because, The Bride was coming out that week. So figured why not? Because I did a watch along for the original Boris Karloff Frankenstein on my channel. If you guys want to go check that out. It's a classic for a reason. And then me and Mike, our good buddy Mike, watched The Bride of Frankenstein together right after watching the original Frankenstein, and it's great. Once again, a classic for a reason. It's kind of crazy that those films came out almost 100 years ago and they still age well. Like, It's crazy. The Bluff. I'm sure a lot of you guys have never even heard of it, but it's a pirate action movie that released on Amazon Prime, starring Priyanka Chopra Jonas and Carl Urban. It's fun enough. Like, it's nothing special. It's got some good gore, some good action in there, but nothing super memorable. But it's a fun movie. And then Lord of Illusions, fun Clive Barker directed film based off of another one of his stories. Good, fun enough, not like a favorite of mine by any means, but it's pretty good. And then my favorite horror film of all time, Hellraiser. What can I say about Hellraiser that hasn't been said already, for at least to me? Because that is an 80s horror film that has the one that actually has something rare about it. Like, which is valuing characters and storytelling more than gore, kills, all that kind of stuff. Like, it actually values characters. So it's a good movie. And then Trap House, it actually came out on Netflix, which I didn't expect because I had originally bought it on DVD to watch it, and it released on Netflix. And I was like, okay, I'll watch it. But fun enough little action movie with Dave Bautista. Actually has some pretty good twists and turns thrown into the mix too. So
I actually watched that one earlier last year, and I got a screener for it. I did a short review on it. I enjoyed it as well. It's one that I enjoyed mostly because I know what I'm getting into. It's very generic. It's very like $5 Walmart bin movie.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
For what you're getting, it's not like you're watching high art if you buy it straight from the new release shelf that's not on the main wall at Walmart.
Exactly. And like I said, yeah, it's a very generic story, but also it's quite a bit of the time the movie is asking you to really suspend your disbelief.
And granted, with a lot of like Dave Bautista's movies, you have to do that. A lot of his other action films, like My Spy, My Spy 2, my personal favorite, Final Score, he does a lot of these like European style action films with big action set pieces. Final Score is my favorite of his. If you guys haven't seen that, I highly recommend you check it out. I gotta watch that one again.
Yeah.
But there you go.
And then well, actually, I watched 3 movies when I was over at my parents' house doing laundry because I was like, I got nothing to do, so watch a few movies. So that's why I watched Trap House. Watched Free Fire for the first time, the Ben Wheatley movie with a really solid cast. Solid like bottle action thriller where it's just set entirely in one location. Mm-hmm. And you have just a bunch of assassins facing off against each other. Fun to watch. And then Memoirs of a Geisha. That's the Rob Marshall movie. Good movie. Interesting little historical film. Not necessarily something I would gravitate towards, but it was good enough for what it was. Oh boy. Talk about divisive, am I right? I watched The Bride in the movie theater, and I was the only person in that theater when I saw it. I'm sad it didn't do well, but I really, really liked it, honestly. Like, honestly, the only things that I really didn't work about it was some of the pacing. The ending wasn't very good, and also the whole subplot with Peter Sarsgaard and Penelope Cruz as these detectives who are trying to hunt Jesse Buckley and Christian Bale down. Like, that kind of took me out of the film a little bit, but it's a really interesting, like very stylistic type of like Bonnie and Clyde crime movie mixed with a little bit of like flavor of Natural Born Killers in some ways. But I liked it. It's good. And then Hoppers, I loved it. Pixar's best movie in a while. And honestly, one of their funniest movies that they've come out with in a long time. Okay, March 7th, I was kind of on a binge that day because I really had nothing to do, had the day off. So watched War Machine. Noah was just talking about this one a little bit ago. Fun enough little action thriller on Netflix. It's basically Alan Ritchson's version of Predator. Like, but except of the Predator from the movie, you basically have a giant war killing machine. Like, if you do think about it, though, with like how it's structured, it is a lot like Predator. So And then I was kind of on a Gregg Araki kick. It was my first time watching any Gregg Araki film in my life. Watched Mysterious Skin, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Brady Corbett.
Yeesh.
Yeah, Brady Corbett, the guy that directed The Brutalist, mind you. God, he really came a long way, didn't he? This is one of the most upsetting and depressing films I've ever seen in my life, but it was so freaking good. Like, it is such a messed up story. Like, once that twist is revealed by the end of it, you will feel sick to your stomach. Like, I guarantee you that. Like, I was just like, what is happening? Like, what? My jaw was just on the floor and I was just utterly speechless with what I saw. But it's not going to be for everybody, and it's not a watch all the time kind of movie at all. In fact, I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But for the first time watch, and especially trying to get into Gregg Araki, it was really good. Like, I try to do this every month on my Instagram, like where you do like the favorite first watches of every month, and this one actually made it onto that list for damn good reason. Sorry, excuse my words, but for dang good reason. How about that? There you go.
I'll say this: we can say hell and damn.
Okay, got it.
But the other words, just because of the kids, and some people that I know are now watching my channel, let's just keep it PG.
I'll try to. Anyways, and then I finally watched the last Paul Thomas Anderson film I needed to, which was Inherent Vice, and I did not care for it. I thought it was insanely boring for a lot of it. Now, it looks good. Like, the 70s aesthetic is great. Joaquin Phoenix, he's Joaquin Phoenix. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, he's one of the best actors alive. It's also got a really good cast as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I like the vibe that the film is going for, but I just found it really boring for the most part. So, but it gets a 2.5 because of the technicals. I will say that. Like, the technicals are the best part of the whole movie. And of course, Joaquin Phoenix. And then watched Nowhere, which was the third film in Gregg Araki's Teen Apocalypse trilogy. It was solid enough. It's got a really good style to it. It's got some really good color grading. And there is a lot of great cast members in here. Like, you got Rachel True from The Craft. You got James Duvall, who is in all three of the Teen Apocalypse films from Gregg Araki. And also Ryan Felipe also makes an appearance in this movie as well. Same thing with Denise Richards. A lot of interesting cast members, but the film just felt so jumbled and all over the place because there's a lot of people that are in this film. And it's basically like an exploration of all these like people's lives, like before they go to this big party, which is like towards the end of the movie. So there's a lot that happens in the movie, and it's only about like 83 minutes. There is a lot that happens in that movie. But speaking of the Teen Apocalypse trilogy, I did it in backwards order, but who cares? Watched The Doom Generation, also once again starring James Duvall, but also you got Rose McGowan and Jonathan Schaech. I actually really enjoyed this movie, and I do think it is the best of the three of the Teen Apocalypse trilogy. Mostly because I think it's the most focused and the best structured of all of the three movies. Like, you're literally just following these three characters throughout the entire film. Like, it's crazy, and it's got some really good satire as well. Also, some pretty crazy violence in there, especially with the quick stop scene. You'll know what I'm talking about when you watch it, but it gets pretty crazy. But and also, it's a really weird movie, but it's Gregg Araki. I don't know what else to tell you. So, all right. I think that covers all the 7, but...
Go ahead and go for your 8.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Watched Cruel Summer. That was one of the Horror Pack movies I got back when I had Horror Pack, and I hated it. I couldn't stand it. I mean, yes, it's definitely a low budget. Like, you can definitely tell, like, with how the film is made. But they show you who the killer is at one point in the film. That's not even towards the end. And I'm like, what the hell is happening? So yeah, I hated it, and I got rid of my Blu-ray, and I got rid of all 3 of those movies on Blu-ray because I have no interest in watching the sequels after that one. And because this is a PG show now, I watched Totally Effed Up. That was the first film in Greg Araki's Teen Apocalypse trilogy, and my least favorite out of the three. It's only, I think, 78 or 72 minutes. I can't remember which one. It's a really short movie, but there's like 15 chapters that they try to tell it in, and I'm like, you could have extended that to at least like a 90-minute movie to actually make it work. But it was okay. Like, I will say it's okay. I mean, the one big perk I can say about all three of them is that they're extremely well made. But this one kind of has like the camcorder kind of look to it, which is really cool, where it's like you're watching like a home video. Like, it has a cool look to it, but just the movie overall, very messy. And then Toxic Avenger did that as a watch along as well with Mike. It's awesome. Don't know. I can't really say anything else good about it. The Killer, that is the original John Woo movie. Watched that for the first time. Very good. And then 1408, which I watched for Huck's 52-week movie challenge, and it's still really good. One of the more underrated Stephen King adaptations.
Okay, so before we go into my second week, let's go into the comments. I have not seen who's here, so let's get right into it. Hey, what's up, Sav? Great to have you here.
Sav, what's up?
Jim, what's up? Great to meet you.
What's up, Jim?
Hey, how you guys? Sav, I hope you're doing well. Great new profile picture. It's great to hear from you, man. Just send me a message, and I hope to hear from you soon about how you're doing and how everything's going with your treatments. I've been watching a lot of 90s movies. A lot of 90s movies like the Austin Powers movies. Austin Powers, great classic comedies.
Still reminds me of that one scene in Baby Driver, like when they wanted the Michael Myers mask before they rob a bank, and it's like, what is this? Austin Powers. Doc said Michael Myers. This is Mike Myers. Had to do it.
I love the Three Stooges. Haven't seen them in a long time. Awesome. The next person, I'm not going to say their name. Well, I'll say their name, but I'm not going to put it up there. Hi, Tanya. Great to see you. Thank you for watching. Next up is Sav again. Bruce Almighty. Great movie. Yes, sir, it is.
Classic.
Hellraiser. Classic.
Hell yeah.
What's up, Michael? Great to have you here. Good buddy on the channel. I'll have to wait to watch The Bride on 4K. I'll have to wait to watch it on streaming because my theater didn't play it. But that's fine. I think I'm gonna happily wait for it to drop in price because I'm sorry, $30 for any movie is barely worth it. Barely worth
I don't even think it's 30. I think it's 25.
I'll wait for it to drop to like $6 to rent, something like that.
Oh yeah, we'll see.
Have you guys seen Wrecking Crew and Mercy? I have seen Wrecking Crew, which I believe. No, I didn't watch that this month. I don't think. I think I watched it last month. And Mercy, I have not seen that yet. I'm going to be watching that one this upcoming weekend. So I look forward to checking that one out. Luke, you've seen both of those?
Yep, I did see Wrecking Crew and Mercy. I actually saw Mercy in the theater, which Mercy is not as bad as you think it would be. Like, the trailers kind of market it like it's a dumpster fire, but it's not. It's actually pretty solid.
And then the last comment that we will cover here is from Sav 1408. Cool movie.
Heck yeah, dude.
Now let's go into my second week. My second week was a bit of a jumbled week because we took my mother over to spend time with my grandma. So I had to work a lot because I had that weekend off. So let's get into it. A lot of these I watched because these are my dog's favorite movies. And with her not here, I'm trying to keep him comfortable. Here Comes the Boom. Great movie that I personally love. He gets a lot of enjoyment out of the music. Woman Haters and Three Little Pigskins. 3 classic shorts. Woman Haters, it's misogynistic. It's very non-PC, but you know what? It's the Stooges. Three Little Pigskins, very solid. This is one I wanted to check out in theaters because I never got to see this ever before. And part of this was shot in my hometown. This is Touchback. Touchback is all about this. Has the best way to describe this. It's all about this guy in his 30s, and he is a former star who lost his shot at a scholarship after an injury, but now he's getting a second chance after trying to kill himself. This is one that doesn't have Kurt Russell in it very much. This was part of something that my state is doing called Ohio Goes to the Movies for the 250th anniversary of our country. So about every county and every theater that is around the area is getting one movie per county or per theater. And they're choosing something that is close to that town. Since Touchback was shot here, it's either between that, an Indian movie, and there's a Christian comedy called Church People, but we get that. We've shown that here like twice. And the other one is a Christian film called it's something I'm not even gonna try. But we got Touchback. I was happy to go and see that. It was a decently packed crowd. It was fun to see that in theaters and see that local football field on the big screen and finally see the movie along the way. When I got home from that, I watched Mr. Popper's Penguins with my puppy. He loves this one. It's quiet. It's charming. I'm trying to get him off of the Christmas kick, so we're slowly getting him there. Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, classic film. I was in the mood to watch that one. The music is beautiful. The acting is solid. It's a all-time classic, as is, for me anyways, Paul Blart Mall Cop. I enjoy Kevin James in anything he does. The only thing I didn't enjoy him in is Paul Blart Mall Cop 2. I don't like that sequel. I wasn't a fan of his NASCAR show on Netflix. I can't remember what that one was called, but I enjoyed his Netflix football movie Home Team. I loved The King of Queens. And then I watched The Mask. The Mask is one I normally just pop on whenever I feel like it. I wanted to watch it because it's Jim Carrey. I'm like, let me just put on something that's very short, I know, and I don't have to pay attention to while it's on. So The Mask is just pure comfort. Then we went back over to pick my mom up. And my grandma says, put on a movie. So I did. It was Elvis. Elvis is one of her all-time favorite movies now. When I went to go and see that in theaters, it was just me by myself. I asked my parents to come along. They said they didn't want to see it in theaters. But then we took my mom over for a visit to stay with my grandma for a week, and they watched it when it was on HBO Max. And they loved it. My grandma has seen it at least 7 or 8 times. This is my second time seeing it. Elvis is just as good, not as impactful in the theater, though, because you're not getting like that surround sound. And once you know what's going to happen, you know that it's not a very heartwarming story. It's a very somber ending for Elvis's life, but I enjoyed this movie immensely. My grandma had a great time just moving her foot and singing every song with him. Next up, I watched this because we had an interview with a good buddy of mine and Kirsten's, Adrian Powers. He's the director of Chef's Kiss. And why did I not rate this? I'm going to start doing something I don't think is fair because I know these people. I am buddies with these people. I don't want to be this person who comes on here and either completely praises it or completely trashes it. Because one, if I trash it, they know I'm being honest, but everyone's going to be like, if you just love it, you're saying it because you know them and you're basically kissing their butts. Sorry. That's not me. Adrian knows that I'm honest with his films. The stars of his films know that I'm honest with their films. But Chef's Kiss is available to watch on the Roku channel right now. And the 13th, I wrapped up that day with Sinners, which, in my opinion, should have won the Best Picture Oscar. I think it would have been the better option that would have lasted over time because I think that Sinners is going to outlast for a long time now, the relevancy of one battle after another. And finally, to end off that week, this is going to give you a little split. I did watch How the Grinch Stole Christmas because I came home. My dog was here. I just brought him home from the doggy hotel. And I kid you not, he looked at me. This is my knee. He went and just kept on smacking me. I said, "What do you want?" "Roof." Said, do you want a Christmas? He turned right to the TV. He didn't care what I put on. It was 30 minutes. And somewhere I have a video of him listening to it while on the couch sleeping. And the 15th to wrap up that week, Django Unchained is one of the best movies based around the slave times. It's not a somber film, unlike 12 Years a Slave, which is all about this guy who is going to he's trying to become a free man. Django is a free man, and he's just going after his wife with the help of Christoph Waltz, who is phenomenal. I love Christoph Waltz in that movie. Leonardo DiCaprio should have won his Oscar for many roles, if not this one. He gave, I think, his second best performance of his life as this character. Of course, my favorite is as Jordan Belfort in The Wolf of Wall Street, but not to discount anything else. But I mean, he won it for The Revenant. So The Revenant gave him his Oscar. He's going to win one or two more. But Django Unchained, I can't say anything else besides just praising this movie.
Yeah, like Calvin Candy is by far one of the best like movie villains like of all time. Like, wow.
And
like the crazy stuff that DiCaprio did like during filming of that movie is absolutely insane.
Especially with all the stories that we've heard, how he didn't want to say the N-word. But I think it might have been Jamie Foxx and or Sam Jackson who took him aside and basically made him say it, because they said, "You're playing a character. This is what they said back in the day." And the things he did offset, where he wouldn't talk to Jamie Foxx, Jamie Foxx said, "Oh, that's Leo DiCaprio. He's in the room." Mr. Candy's in the room. But I absolutely love that movie. I rewatch that one every year. It's a great movie. If you guys haven't seen Django Unchained, check it out. It's not for the faint of heart, especially once we get towards the latter half, when the dinner scene starts. That's when all the blood, gore, and real suspense happens. But Luke, let's go into your second week, from the 9th to the 15th.
All right. Let's see what we got. So for the 9th, I went and saw Hoppers again. I had nothing to do that night. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go out for a walk and go to a movie. So I went and saw Hoppers. And I loved it about as much as I did the first time. So, and then even though I know it's technically backwards, but I rewatched Scary Movie 2 with Mike. And then after we got off call, I watched the first Scary Movie. Both of them are hilarious. I think the second one is a little bit better. Like some of the stuff that they pull off in both Scary Movie 1 and 2 that the Wayans bros do, like, I don't know how they were able to do it, because for the most part, you can't really get away with that stuff today in comedy. But
wait till you get to the new one. I wonder what they're going to do.
Oh, yeah. I wonder what they're going to do with Scary Movie 6. But, like, because I've seen like news outlets like on like either Facebook or Instagram, and they say that like people are calling movie theaters and trying to cancel the release of Scary Movie 6. And I'm like, take a joke, people. Come on. It's a comedy for one. And secondly, it's just a movie.
If you don't want to see it, you don't have to.
That doesn't mean you have to call the theater and try to ban the release of it.
Buy a ticket to this little animated movie that my Cinemark is playing pout pout the fish, shut up and shove it. So there you go.
And then twice on March 10th, I watched Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. I watched it in parts while I was at work when I was on my breaks. And then I finished the last 15 minutes or so when I got home from work. And I was like, this movie was too good. I'm playing it again. So I watched it twice in one day. I had to because it's awesome. Like, so far out of all the movies I've seen this year for 2026, it is my favorite movie of the year so far. Like, it's awesome. And also, this will not be the only time you're going to see it pop up on this list. That's all I'm going to say. But then I watched Scary Movie 3 with Mike. It went down a little bit on rewatch. I used to absolutely love it. There's just a couple moments of humor that are a little bit outdated. And then watched Caveat. This was Damian McCarthy's first film before he did Oddity and now the upcoming Holcomb, which I'm really excited about. Really cool movie that actually sets up a lot of really good tension with scares. Not really like a narratively focused film, but like it's a really good tension-filled horror film. Like that actually has really good scares. It's not like your traditional horror movie scares. Like that's the one thing that I think Damian McCarthy is really good at when it comes to horror is setting up scares. Like if you've seen Oddity, then you would know what I'm talking about. And Holcomb looks creepy. So looking forward to that. Faceless After Dark. That was another movie that I got from a horror pack. It stars the lead girl the lead girl in this film also was one of the leads in the original Terrifier. It was okay, but it was very style over substance and not in a good way.
Funny thing about Faceless After Dark, I was actually sent a Blu-ray copy of that by the studio to review. I never watched it, and I believe it's still in the wrapping.
Yeah, I have the Blu-ray right here.
Yeah, I was sent the Blu-ray. I never watched it. No interest from me. I was more interested in what they sent me. I think they're the same. Is that Dark Sky Films?
Yes.
Or is that Epic? Okay. So Dark Sky Films was the same people that sent me that big expensive set for the 50th anniversary of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 4K and VHS set that came with a toy chainsaw, and they sent me that one. So I just never got around to it. I haven't got anything from them since physically, but I just wanted that, and I was offered it. So I said, sure, cool.
All right. Then next up, I rewatched a childhood favorite of mine, Night at the Museum. Again, there's some moments to it that don't age very well, but it's a fun little movie. Like, it's a fun trilogy. But the first one, I think, is honestly still the best one. And then watched Mississippi Grind. It's a little gambling film from A24 starring Ben Mendelsohn and Ryan Reynolds. Mm-hmm. It's actually from the same people that directed Captain Marvel and Freaky Tales, believe it or not. So it's a solid little one watch. It's nothing like Two for the Money with Al Pacino and Matthew McConaughey, but it's a fun little gambling film. And then I watched Is This Thing On, the Bradley Cooper directed film with Will Arnett and Laura Dern. Very, very good film. If I saw it last year, it would have been in my top 20 easily. It was just that good. And then Ellen McKay, that was a film that honestly that received a lot of hate back when it came out, so I just didn't bother with it. I don't think it was that horrible. Like, it's watchable, and I think Emma Mackey and Jamie Lee Curtis are the standout performances. The movie is just an overall mess. Like, there's so many characters and so many plot lines that is introduced in one film, and it's not even written by multiple people. It's written solely by James L. Brooks. Way too many ideas at play. And then I took my mom to go see Undertone in the movie theater.
Terrify your mom.
I took her to Long Legs, for crying out loud. I didn't think it was going to be that disturbing, but holy hell. I didn't think this one would even be that scary either, but I was dead wrong again. Now, I wouldn't say it's like scary, like scariest movie of the year or anything like that, but it certainly was a very creepy, unsettling, tension-filled film. but it's not like your typical jump scares. Like it's very much like how do I describe it? Like it's very much based around sound design. Like if you guys like love Paranormal Activity or Skinamarink, then I think you are really going to enjoy this movie because it kind of has those vibes with like how it's done with sound and everything. Because each audio file that they listen to, because you guys don't know the general premise, it's about a podcast host of a paranormal podcast that receives these audio files from somebody mysterious. She doesn't know who sent it. And her co-host of the podcast start listening to these audio files. And each one gets creepier than the last. So, and all I'm going to say, you will never want to listen to children's songs the same way again. That's all I got to say.
I can't wait to watch it. Hey, I might pee down my leg. I'm joking.
Okay. And then for, of course, Friday the 13th, I rewatched possibly now my favorite Friday the 13th movie, the 2009 remake. It's still tied with Jason Lives right now, but it's great. Like, I love the kills. Jason's awesome. I mean, literally, Jason runs after people in this remake.
He does. He doesn't just walk with his machete.
He literally runs after people, and I think that's the scarier version of Jason, in my opinion. Like, I love Kane Hodder Jason, but Derek Mears Jason, easily the best iteration of Jason Voorhees, for sure.
Different build too, very solid build.
And I like how they kind of go from like the events of like the original Friday the 13th to Friday the 13th Part 2, and then to Part 3 in one film.
Yep.
Because, like, of course, you see Jason's mom, Pamela Voorhees, and then you see him with the sack head. And then, of course, like we got in Part 3, to his hockey mask. But yeah, great movie. Saturday night, just wanted a comfort movie for one night, and that is one of my comfort movies. So, I mean, yeah, it's an extremely chaotic film, but, like, I just love, like, how they were able to craft the chaos of the 90 minutes before airing the very first Saturday Night Live.
Mm-hmm.
And then Creepshow, decided to go ahead and give that a rewatch as well. Very good horror anthology. It ain't as good as Trick or Treat, but it's really good. And then I watched American Movie. Mike recommended it to me. Such a heartwarming, like an inspiring type of documentary. Like it kind of feels like a mockumentary in some ways with how it's done with some of the comedy style. Mm-hmm. But by the end of it, it just becomes like a much more sad film, but also very heartwarming at the same time. Like it actually feels like you're watching like a real documentary at that point, because apparently the last part of the film is true. So, but yeah, really good film. Definitely check that one out. That's highest recommend I can give. Like I'll say right now, best movie I watched in March. That's for sure.
I know I said that we were only going to go to the 15th, but since you only got one more movie on this page, let's just go through this whole page.
Oh,
one more film.
Okay, so yeah, for the 16th, that's not the only film I watched, but no. Of course we'll get back to it here in a few minutes. But I watched the Shudder film Body Cam. It's a film where it's told through. It's kind of a found footage style film where it's told through police car cameras or also police body cams. It's cool with that kind of concept, but it kind of fell flat with some of those ideas. Like it had cool ideas at play, but it never found a way to execute them right. So just a movie overall that didn't really work for me.
And now let's talk about a movie that is not easy to talk about. So I got home from work one day a little bit earlier, and our good buddy Mike said that he was watching this, and I said, you want to know what? It's on Paramount Plus. I've never seen it. Let's give it a shot. All right. And that was Silence. Silence is a very hard movie to watch. If you don't know what this movie is all about, it's about this group of priests in Japan, and they attempt to try and find their mentor, and it's basically they are hated by all. They are killing priests and killing a lot of Christians because they are Christians, and they want you to basically denounce your faith is the best way to put it. It's very hard to watch. It's 2 hours and 40 something minutes. It does not go by very fast. It is a hard movie to watch. I was sitting there watching it, and it's heartbreaking because you're watching Adam Driver and Andrew Garfield as these priests, and you just feel bad for what they have to go through, particularly Andrew. We do have moments with Adam Driver, but Adam Driver isn't a mainstay in the film. He's pretty much the second build. Liam Neeson, yes, he's in it, but he's not in it for more than, what, about 40 minutes, Luke? Maybe 40? Potentially 30?
Probably like 40 minutes.
He's in the beginning of the film, but he's more towards the beginning of the third act, really.
Right, but I can't really say because I haven't seen the film in a while, but I don't really have any urge to because it's a really depressing movie, but maybe one day I'll watch it again just to, refresh my thoughts, but but after that, never watching it again. That's for sure.
Nope. Then I watched Cocaine Bear. And if you guys don't know, I make the intros and the thumbnails for his watch-alongs. I forgot that I made that I was supposed to make a thumbnail and the intro for the watch-along for Cocaine Bear until I looked at it later. And I went, wait. There's a watch-along for Cocaine Bear. Why didn't I just wait and watch it with the boys? I forgot. So I enjoy it for what it is. It's not a great movie by any means. It was much better the first time I saw it in theaters. It's very stupid. But
of course.
For a stupid movie, it does its job. What's not stupid is Submarine. This was on Prime. I wanted to watch this one. It's pretty much about this boy. He's a teenager, and he has his first relationship with a girl. And there's moments here where it is very sweet and romantic, but also uncomfortable because the girl he's with isn't all that likable. I mean, he's bullied because they think he's gay, and she doesn't like how he's not fully accepting her for who she is. And there's just moments where you watch it, and it's a very charming film. Don't get me wrong, but it's just a movie where you watch it and you're just sucked into this boy's life. There are moments here where it feels genuine, where it feels real, where it feels like it could actually happen. And some of these things have happened in a relationship that I have been in, or in relationships that I have been in. Anybody that's been in a real relationship knows that Submarine is realistic in some portions. What's not realistic is The Bride of Frankenstein. I rented this because my grandma said she wanted to watch it, and while I was over there, we never did. So the rental was about to come up, and I said, "You want to know what? It's only an hour and 15 minutes. I'm gonna watch it." I loved this movie. I loved The Bride of Frankenstein. I think it's better than the first Frankenstein. I think it's more of a comedic tone to it. There are moments where it feels very screwball in a way, particularly with this, with the scene where they're in the jars. If that makes any sense, Luke.
Right.
It feels very screwball, and I enjoyed that. It works for me completely. My Cousin Rachel. This was very weird. This was odd. I did not like this much, but I wanted to see it for a long time. I actually remember going to the family video, and the manager at the time went, "So I just watched My Cousin Rachel, and that was really freaking weird." And then she told me things that happened. I forgot. I bought the Blu-ray a couple weeks later, and she looked at me and she literally goes, "Noah, we just talked about this recently." Yes, I know, but I still want to see it. Rachel Weisz is very good here, but that's the best praise I can give it. It's a period piece, and Luke knows I love a good period piece, but this was just not it for me. Zootopia. Talk about a title for a movie. This is a movie all about this guy who falls in love with Jennifer Love Hewitt and is basically lying to her the entire film, saying that he is a Jew. And there's also the subplot of his best friend who's about to get married, and he doesn't really want to get married because he doesn't think he's ready. And there's a callback. There's a callback to the beginning of the film where it's his bat mitzvah, and he just turned 16. And he's in the middle of the church. He strips down to just his underwear. I'm not ready to be a man. I'm not ready to be a man. I'm not ready to be a man. Well, he does the same thing in the middle of his wedding. Well, no, sorry. He does that in the middle of his dinner rehearsal. And yeah, it's just really weird. And then he goes to this like insane asylum caretaking place. It's not really like a nursing home, but it kind of is. And his aide there is a Chinese woman, and he ends up being with her because she's really good at having sex.
Okay.
Our lead guy ends up with Jennifer Love Hewitt, even though he lied to her and her entire family that he was Jewish. But it's okay because he says he loves her.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a very disappointing film. Granted, I watched this on Prime. I did have the DVD that I got at the Dollar Tree because I saw Jennifer Love Hewitt. I said, it can't be that bad. And it is. Take a Chance is a silent film that I watched on Max. Very solid. Primate. I enjoyed this one. It's stupid as all hell. Don't get me wrong. It's a dumb movie. But
it's supposed to be. Like
it's supposed to be. But it doesn't shy away from the blood and gore in the best way possible.
Like if you want some good, gnarly, practical kills like in your horror films,
Primate.
That is your ticket, and it is on Paramount Plus now. So if you guys haven't seen it and you have Paramount Plus, watch it.
It's well worth it. Primate is one I want to see in theaters. I didn't get a chance to because my theater didn't play it, and I was not going out of town to see it. I enjoyed this one immensely. Then my dog was in the mood for a movie, so we watched Emmett Otter's Jug Band Christmas again this is the 11th time that I've logged this movie.
Jeez.
And then after that, he still wasn't done, so we did The Wizard of Oz. How can you go wrong?
Classic.
With The Wizard of Oz. Endless Love. Okay. Luke, do you know anything about this movie?
I know there was another one that was made in 2014.
Yep. Have you seen either version?
I think I've seen the 2014 version, and I remember nothing.
Okay. I will say this. For anybody who was around when the movie was out, you know that there are... Oh, and Luke just went away. So, for anybody who has not seen Endless Love, Endless Love is a... and he's back.
Sorry about that. When you close out of the tab, it cut out the audio on my end.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
It's a StreamYard glitch.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. So with Endless Love is about this 15 and 17-year-old boy who fall in love. In the movie, they're already dating, and the parents are her parents, and this woman is played by Brooke Shields. Beautiful woman. She had a very rough film childhood in her teen years. This movie is all about her parents who hate him. Particularly the father hates him because her grades are slipping. She's not sleeping. She's sneaking him in. She's having sex with him. And he's being a father and watching after his daughters, saying, I forbid you from seeing them for a month until your grades are up. He being the boyfriend, decides to be the smartest idiot in the world by taking advice from a friend at a party. You know what he does, Luke?
What?
He goes to her house and sets the house on fire. He sets the house on fire.
Why?
Just because he thought that it would be a good chance to do something. They don't really give a reason, and they go to court. They sue him. He doesn't spend any time in jail, but he's basically forced with a restraining order to stay away from them. If not, then he will go to jail. Then we cut to years later, and they're in New York City, or in a city. Their house is burned down. He spent time away from her. He hasn't ever forgotten her, and she hasn't forgotten him. I'm going to spoil the ever-living S out of this movie. This movie ends. Ready?
Okay. 3, 2, 1.
Her father sees him walking down the street, looks at him, looks like he's about to kill him, runs after him, and the father gets hit by a car and dies. There's a girl with him. There's a girl with him. And the girl so happens to be his former best friend, who's played by James Spader. So James Spader's girlfriend / fiance / wife, I can't remember who she is, but she ends up holding the secret that he was there because she didn't know who he was. She wasn't around when the house burnt down, and he ends up going to try and make things up with Brooke Shields. And it just so happens that the mother liked him. He ends up kissing her mother, and then gets back with Brooke Shields until the movie is just them. It's just them together. They make out, they have sex in his apartment until she finds out, due to James Spader's fiance, wife, girl, hump session, whatever she is. She ends up going, yes, he was there. He killed her. No, he was there and didn't help. So he gets blamed for the father being a complete dumbass.
Of course.
And they just end the movie with them not seeing each other again, but still being in love. The first half is very good. Do not get me wrong. It's a very solid first half. That's why I went with 2.5 out of 5.
Right. Okay.
Second half goes completely on, and I'm gonna swear at this one. It's completely bad shit. It's completely bad shit. Shit hits the fan in the dumbest possible way. I did not like the second half. Now, if you would have went the way that I thought that they were going to go, is with the father and the boyfriend not getting along, but they continue to sneak around. That would have been fine. Not burning down the house and not holding any repercussions doesn't hold a candle to me supporting you as a character anymore. But enough on Endless Love. The 20th, Do Not Enter. Do Not Enter is a new horror movie that is awful. It is barely a horror movie. It's not scary. It's not creepy. It moves at a snail's pace at a little under 90 minutes, and it's not worth your time at all.
Yeah, I'm not watching it.
Sorry, Luke.
No, I was saying I'm not watching that one particularly. Do Not Enter. I'm not watching it.
Okay. Hotel Transylvania. I remember watching this one in theaters. I literally walked down to the movie theater when I was 13, and I went to go and see this. I gotta say, this was very good on a rewatch. I enjoy this movie a lot. It's very sweet. I might enjoy the sequel just a little bit more, which we will probably talk about here in a couple films or two. But Hotel Transylvania 1, animated classic that is going to stand the test of time. Color Scales. This is a short film that I watched on Turner Classic Movies. It's basically about these fish. You're watching these fish swim, and you're learning about what these fish are back in 1932. The Graduate. I wanted to rewatch this for a long time. I forgot how very emotional and somber it is. There are moments where it's funny, but it's a very it's not guarded, but it's a very standard film. And this is where, of course, Mrs. Robinson comes in. We know her, we like her a lot. I enjoy this movie immensely. It is great. I don't care. I think it won the best picture. I think this won the best picture, if I'm not mistaken. Right, Luke? I think so.
I think it did. I'll go ahead and look for you right now as you continue.
Okay. I think it won the best picture. And I think I only got, yes, I only have 2 more films.
Yeah, you can go ahead.
I have Hotel Transylvania 2. I watched this one because I just watched the first one a couple nights before. I enjoyed this immensely. I remember watching this my senior year of high school and really enjoying this during class. However, this time, as I've grown up a little bit, about 10 years later, well, I actually going on 9 years later, I haven't seen this since. It's sweet. It's great to watch as an adult because and seeing a lot of kids now at my work, at both jobs, this hits you harder. And knowing a lot of people who have kids that I went to school with, I know how this would affect them too. It's a very sweet animated film that's only an hour and 17 minutes without the end credits. Definitely worth a rewatch, and I can't wait to watch Hotel Transylvania 3 Summer Vacation. And then my final movie for this week was The Page Master. I normally watch this one when we have a thunderstorm because it puts me in a mood. Because it's a rainy day film. It's very short. I think it's only 70-something minutes.
I think 75 minutes last time I remembered.
And it serves very well for what it is. Let me see here. Let me see. Yes, 75 minutes with end credits.
Oh my God. How did I know?
But when I told you that I was going to watch this, you literally said, childhood, dude. Childhood.
It is.
Because it is. Everybody watched The Page Master as a child. Everybody watched it.
I watched it when I was in freaking 3rd grade, dude. Like, that tells you something.
It is. I mean, I don't care how many times. I will watch that movie a couple times a year when we have a good storm out there or a solid night of just rain. There are a couple movies that come to mind, or a couple shows that come to mind where I'm like, I can just use a good movie. So, Luke, let's go into the next week for you.
All right. If the thing will load.
Yes, I should have done this before, but eat me.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay, so kicking this one off, we're off to a very poor start, I will say. With Smiley Face, I was continuing on with my Gregor Rocky binge. I hated it. There was literally one moment where I laughed, and it was one scene where it cuts to black for a second, and then it goes approximately 19 minutes later. That was funny. And it also has a really good opening credits, I will say. Very creative for the opening credits. And the concept sounds funny on paper. But I think the fact that Araki didn't write this may have hurt this film, because it was written by a guy that was a first-time writer. And that's not always a bad thing.
Mm-hmm.
But just for this case, it did not work for me. I did not laugh barely after that one particular moment that I just mentioned. I mean, it was cool to see John Krasinski. Like, he was pretty much just dressed like Dwight, but but nothing else beyond that. I can't really say enough. Just don't even bother. I mean, I know it's on Fandango at home for free, but just please don't bother. Like, there's better Gregor Rocky films to go watch. Like, there's another one that I might be talking about here later, or at least a few more. This is Spinal Tap. Watch for the 52-week movie challenge, which was a fake band or musician movie for the week, and I chose this one of my all-time favorites. It's just a mockumentary style movie that is just up my alley. And then for St. Patrick's Day, watched Leprechaun Returns, for the very first time. It was the only film in the franchise I had not seen, and it was solid. It's up there with the first three. And like I said, this was not the only time you were going to see Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die on this list. I have now seen it 3 times. Yes, I enjoyed it that much. And then I rewatched Black Phone 2 because once again was over at my mom's house doing laundry, and I still think it's a great sequel. Like, for a sequel that honestly I thought was going to be very unnecessary, they actually found a way to actually make it stand out by going the Nightmare on Elm Street route, and it was really good.
And a sequel to one of your favorite horror films of all time.
Exactly. Like, I thought it was not going to be necessary, but like when that first trailer dropped, I was like, sold, I'm in. And then Zootopia 2, speaking of sequels that I didn't think were going to be necessary, and especially since it was coming out so many years after the first film, they did a really, really good job on like actually expanding on the world and also like doubling down on the references, which were just as funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love Zootopia 2. Not as good as the first, but it's still good. And then now technically my favorite film of last year, and Marty Supreme. It's incredible in every way. I actually showed my best friend this film, and he really enjoyed it too. Even though I would have said originally that Timothée Chalamet should have gotten the Oscar win for this because it's by far his best performance.
Yeah,
I'm glad Michael B. Jordan won, but I will say, if Michael B. Jordan was not nominated for Sinners, it probably would have gone to Chalamet. But
hands down.
But again, I love Michael B. Jordan. I'm really glad he won the Oscar, but I will still stand by that Marty Supreme is Timothée Chalamet's best performance.
And Luke will attest to that the biggest fan of Timothy that he knows is me.
Exactly.
Is me. And that dude, I think, is the best actor working today because he's consistent with his performances. And with him going from this, Dune, Wonka, a Complete Unknown, The King, Call Me by Your Name. I mean, literally everything this guy does is great, and he's about our age too. So yeah, supporting somebody who's our age who is this good, tremendous. Love this actor to death.
Well, it also Marty Supreme just goes to show how much range Timothée Chalamet has as an actor. Like, even though yes, he's playing a completely unlikable douchebag, but like, you can't help but love the journey that he's going on as he continues to get himself into more trouble.
Exactly.
But with like every time, like every situation he gets into, it's another layer peeled back for his character. So, and he feels fully fleshed out by the end. Because by the end of it, he gets himself a bit of a redemption arc.
And also, the side characters around him, especially Odessa Zion, man, they try to keep him grounded. But with what Marty does and who he is, there's not anybody who can really hold him down and make him calm down and be a little bit normal.
Exactly, because he's cocky and he's pretty much an arrogant douchebag. Like,
yeah, he is.
Like, he's very arrogant, but like I said, with Chalamet's performance, like, it makes you want to keep on watching. Like, it's kind of like how would I describe this? It's kind of like the characters in Trainspotting. Their performances are what really keep you invested with where they're going because of how even though they're super unlikable people. But like, again, their performances are what make you want to continue watching and like want to see where the journey goes. So, but yeah, absolutely love Marty Supreme. Loved it even more on the second watch. And I think by far, I mean, I haven't finished all of their films yet, but I think it's by far the best project between any of the Safdie brothers. I got to be real. Love Uncut Gems, love Good Time, but Marty Supreme, I think, has a bit more rewatch value to me.
Here's the weird thing, though. I didn't like Uncut Gems. That's the one I did not like. I was sitting there and I'm like, this is way too much. It's way too fast. But with Marty Supreme, it worked for me because they mixed in something other than just fast, intense. There's calm moments too. And there's there's like 3 or 4 scenes where they build the characters up. Each character gets a moment to shine. And in Uncut Gems, yes, they have a couple of moments, but they don't pause long enough for you to actually just sink it in a little bit. It just moves at such a rapid pace, and that was my big issue.
And I understand that, but like, if you've seen Uncut Gems, then you probably should know what you're getting into with Marty Supreme. Like,
of course,
there's a bunch of chaos, and like if you're used to the Safdie brothers style, I mean, even though this was only directed by Josh Safdie, like, you should know exactly what you're getting into with like the chaos and, you know, people talking over each other.
Yep.
Like that kind of thing. They still incorporate that with Marty Supreme, but like not to like the full extent like they do in Uncut Gems.
No, which is why I think that Marty Supreme worked a little better for me.
I mean, yes, it's extremely chaotic, but they also know how to blend like chaos, intense moments, and also be funny.
Mm-hmm.
Like, cause hell, like some of the scenes, like with Marty, like delivering like some of the most like absurd lines, somehow are genuinely funny.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how, but like it was funny. But anyways, we're talking too much about Marty Supreme, but I can't get enough of it. Like, I can't get enough of it. Might be in competition for my favorite of the decade. I'm not gonna lie, it's that good. But anyways, we also watched We Bury the Dead. This is a new zombie film starring Daisy Ridley. It's good. Like, it's a cool, interesting idea for a zombie drama. It's not like the typical zombie film that you see. It's got some really good gore in it. But the movie also kind of like Body Cam, where it's kind of scattered with some ideas. They just never really come into fruition. But it's good enough. Like, it's good, though. It's a good enough film. Project Hail Mary. This is pretty much everyone's favorite movie of the year so far, and I don't disagree with that. But it's not quite my favorite. It still goes to Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die. But Project Hail Mary is a close second. Oh, wait. Are you going to talk about this one later, or?
I am not going to talk about this one until. Am I going to talk about it? You go ahead and look.
Okay.
Well, I'm gonna no. I'm gonna look. I'm gonna look. Okay. I am not gonna talk about this. Not this month. That'll be at the first of next month. So I will talk about that next month.
Okay. But this is a movie that everyone should go see. Like, this is a movie for everybody. Like, and I know we always use that phrase, like whenever we see a big sci-fi film, for like why we go to the movies and everything like that.
This is the
Project, reason. But Project Hail Mary is the reason why we go to the movies.
There are moments. I will give my brief thoughts on it. It is powerful. It's funny. It's emotional. It's awe-inspiring. It's visually stunning. Ryan Gosling is going to be deserving of an Oscar nomination. Is he going to get it? Probably not. I don't think that he gets the nomination. This will get a Best Picture nom. It will not win. It should get a director, a visual effects, particularly because there's no green screen in this film.
That's right.
All practical sets. All practical sets and VFX. That's it. No green screen.
Yeah, all the practical sets in this movie, like, it's crazy. Like, it's crazy to think that they're all practical sets.
Now, I will say my big issue is, since in the book, there's moments where in the movie, they do the same thing in the book, but to a further extent. They go from his time in space back before he went up there with Strat. There's a lot of moments with Strat that really build all this story of how smart he is. In the beginning of the book, just like in the movie, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know who his two team members are that have died and why he woke up. and where he is. In the book, he does that via all these flashbacks because he says he looks at this scientific thing, and it reminds him of this, and then he realizes, oh, so I am Grace. I'm Rylan Grace. And then another thing is, oh, I'm here for this reason. I wanted a bit more of that because we don't get as much of a building moment of his character as I think we should have. It's more of his relationship with him and Rocky. And yes, it's an adaptation of the book, but I think if you got a little bit more, and maybe in the deleted scenes, because apparently there was a 4-hour cut initially shown, they probably do a lot of that. So when the deleted scenes come out, I look forward to seeing what's on there. I want to know what was left on the cutting room floor and why they thought it was not worth being in the full film.
For sure. But anyways, then I rewatched Ready or Not to build up for Ready or Not 2. So much fun. A lot of great gore like that Radio Silence has carried over from Ready or Not to like the Scream movies they did, Abigail, and also Ready or Not 2, which I'll talk about here in a little bit. And then because I was kind of in a gory horror mood, I decided to rewatch Evil Dead 2013. It's awesome. Lots of gore. There is a lot of gore.
Lots of gore, lots of blood, really creepy.
Like that is probably the bloodiest of the whole franchise, but maybe besides Evil Dead Rise. Like,
and I think that it's probably my favorite. I think that might
so
be my
good.
Favorite, but I don't know if that's my favorite or if Rise is my favorite.
Evil Dead 2 is still by far my favorite, but I mean, like I think it goes 2, the original, Rise, Army of Darkness, and then the 2013 Evil Dead.
If I'm going off of my feeling right now, I think that it would be 2013, Rise, 1, 2, and Darkness.
Okay.
I think.
Fair enough.
But there isn't a bad film in the bunch either.
Goes to show how consistent it is. Makes
Exactly.
me even more excited for Evil Dead Burn.
Yep, and I believe it comes out this year or next year, doesn't it?
Comes out in July.
Comes out in July, so we will see if my theater plays it. Probably not, but hopefully.
And continuing on with my Gregor Rocky binge with White Bird in a Blizzard. This is it. This was the last film that he directed before, of course, his upcoming new film that stars like Cooper Hoffman and Mason Gooding. This one stars Shailene Woodley back when she was like really starting to rise up in Hollywood. Mm-hmm. Basically trying to figure out like the disappearance of her mother, who was played by Eva Green. And it kind of goes in different directions. Like it goes from like past of her life to like present day. It kind of goes like back and forth with those kind of themes, or not really themes, like that way of storytelling. And then eventually, like once you figure out the mystery, it's kind of like, oh, that's the route they go. Okay, I mean, some people might be able to figure it out like right away, but it's still an interesting mystery, and also has a really good soundtrack. That and Marty Supreme are going to make Everybody Wants to Rule the World live rent-free in your head. That's all I'm going to say. And then for Ryan Gosling week for the 52-week movie challenge, watch The Nice Guys. Hilarious movie. Like, hilarious.
Oh, I haven't seen that in about 10 years, I think.
It literally turns 10 this year, so there you go. Hilarious movie. Like, that is probably the funniest movie of 2016. I'm not going to lie.
And like, I wish it did better, because I think that this could have been a franchise. It could have been a franchise. Yeah,
and can we just get more stuff like this from Shane Black? Like,
please.
I miss this Shane Black for The Nice Guys. And then so I actually rewatched Psycho 2. I thought I had not seen this movie, but apparently in 2024 it was my first time watching it, and I completely forgot about it until I did the rewatch, and I really liked it. For a movie called Psycho 2, it's better than you expect it to be.
Now, have you seen 3 or 4?
No, I've only seen the first 2.
Okay. That might have to be something that we have to do it. We might have to watch all those. And then let's see how many more Okay, there we go.
I got three more until we get back to yours for a minute. Did a double feature at the theater. Did Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, and Reminders of Him. Ready or Not 2, not as good as the first. I think the third act kind of falls apart a little bit with how convoluted it gets, but it's a really solid sequel. It's still, again, I think it could have been better if they kind of just made it simple again, kind of like the first movie.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it's a sequel. They're going to go bigger. They're going to try to be better. But it's one of those cases, bigger doesn't always mean better.
Doesn't.
And then Reminders of Him. I have now seen all three of the Colleen Hoover adaptations in theaters. I think it's kind of a tie between that one and Regretting You as my favorite of the three so far. I think both of those are solid films. It Ends with Us, not a fan of that film at all. Just felt really melodramatic to me. And pretty much like every movie you've seen before, like every like romance film that you've pretty much seen that revolves around like domestic abuse. Yeah, I didn't like that one. But Reminders of Him, it's solid. It was nice to see Micah Monroe kind of step out of her comfort zone and do a romance movie because we know her as the horror final girl.
Yep.
But it was nice to see her, explore a bit of range that she's capable of, and also, get to do a romance movie. And her and Tyreek Withers, I think, provide really solid chemistry with one another. But yeah, it's a good movie. Am I gonna watch it like a lot? No. But it will be one of those films, like if I have a bad day, if I want something to put on, sure, why not? And then Late Phases. This is a really unique, character-driven werewolf movie. It is on Amazon Prime. I'm not going to tell you anything about it. Just go and watch it for yourself. Go in as blind as possible, and I think you're really going to like it.
And now for this last week, we are both going to go just down the line and finish it from the 23rd through the end of the month.
All right.
And then we will end off with the comments, and we'll go into what's coming and tease what's coming next month. So, starting on the 23rd, I watched Rain Man for the very first time. Very good film. It is poignant. It's a poignant film. It won the Best Picture for a reason. I don't know why it took me this long to do it. The 2 hours and 8 minutes really do move at a rapid pace. Tom Cruise and Hoffman have great chemistry. There's legitimate moments of real emotion, but yet comedy. Hoffman plays this autistic character so well, where you actually believe that he is this autistic.
And I will say this is the most respectful depiction of autism.
Yeah.
Like, no movie, and I mean it, no movie, ever, has ever come close to this level of respectfulness of depicting autism.
Yep.
I mean, I am autistic myself. So to see this movie, depict it in such a respectful manner, makes it all the better.
And it's a movie that I can't wait to rewatch again. I can't wait to rewatch it again. And speaking of rewatch again, The Perks of Being a Wallflower is a movie I will be watching again. It is a really funny movie. It's romantic, but it's also sad. Once you get to the tail end of it, I don't remember what everybody said was the ending of the book, but I'm glad they went with this ending. In our group chat, we went into the ending of that. I'm not going to go into that because I haven't read the book. I only know the movie ending, but I enjoy this overall. It's a great movie. I was on a bit of a Dustin Hoffman kick, so I went with Kramer versus Kramer. Have you seen this movie, Luke?
No, I have not seen it.
Okay. What do you think this actually is?
I honestly don't know what this is actually about. I know it was a Best Picture winner. I know that. But
yep.
I don't know what it's actually about.
Okay. It's supposed to be about this divorce battle, but it's really not.
Yeah.
Meryl Streep and Hoffman are married. One day, he gets home from work, and she looks at him and says, "I'm leaving you." They have a little kid, and she just leaves him. So now he is taking care of this kid. He doesn't come back in the movie until about halfway through, a little over halfway through. So you don't get much character with her. It's mostly you're watching him be a father to this kid. Once we get to the court battle of who's going to get the custody of the child, you're ultimately rooting for him because you've seen him be a father. You didn't see her be a mother. She was the one that decided to leave. Now, I'm not saying this in a negative way, because of course this does happen. There are extenuating circumstances to every divorce, but this is just what I saw in this movie. The movie is mostly about him being a father. It's not about a divorce. It's a really good film, but I think the marketing is the issue here, because if it would have been fully about the divorce, it would have been a little bit more of a harder watch. There are moments here and there where it has some light, funny moments, but it's also real, because I actually believed that they were father and son. I didn't see Dustin Hoffman. I saw Mr. Kramer. And what he's willing to do to basically keep custody of his kid, he loses his job, and he has court in, I think, 48 hours. So he has to find a job, interview, be hired, and prove that he has a job all within 48 hours of court. And he does it. He does it because he sells himself so well. Great movie. I enjoyed this movie immensely. I just wish it would have been a bit more about the divorce, and it would have been a 5-star film. The Duchess is a period piece movie that does have great portions to it. Mainly the costume design and the set is beautiful. I like a period piece. Keira Knightley in this film is solid. That is Keira Knightley, right? Yes, Keira Knightley. Her as Georgina is great. However, there are moments where you're sitting there and it feels like nothing's happening. You're sitting there for an hour and 49 minutes and you're bored.
Yeah.
Her and Ray Fiennes are a married couple. She wants out of there because she wants to be with another man, and it's a period piece romance that doesn't go the way I thought it was going to go. Not in a bad way, but it's not one that I would ever watch again. The Queen. This is all about what I didn't think it was going to be about. I thought it was going to be a biopic on the Queen. It's not. It's actually a couple days after the great Princess Diana died. You see the reaction to her finding out that she was in a car accident, that she died, and basically about her and her prime minister going, what do we do? What's the best option to respect her and her family? And it's basically, do we make a statement? Do we show the wedding on TV or the funeral on the TV? It's basically all of these really well written and acted conversations between the Queen, her staff, her family, everybody. It's a great film. However, it doesn't go as far as I thought it was going to. I thought it was actually going to show more of what I've heard about the Queen, because there's a lot of things that were said about the Queen and the passing of her. I'm not going to go into that, but I'm glad it doesn't paint her as a perfect queen, as a perfect human, because nobody's perfect. Nobody's perfect. Pretty Lethal. Yeah, this was a ballerina action horror movie that went nowhere. It's instantly forgettable. It's 90 minutes long. It tries to be a ballerina action film that starts to go in the realm of a vampire movie at one point, but doesn't fully capitalize on it. It's not worth your time. Don't watch it. Movies that are worth your time, 28 years later. I finally saw this one along with The Bone Temple. I know that Luke and the guys love The Bone Temple. 28 years later, I loved this a little bit more than The Bone Temple. I'll tell you why. Because I was mainly into the story of this little boy. The story of this little boy going on this journey. I will say that Samson was a bit much.
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. There are moments here where I was literally watching the movie and you called me and I paused it at just the wrong moment.
Again, if you know, you know.
28 songs later, this movie is great, as is The Bone Temple. I will say I didn't like where the ending went. I didn't like the ending, particularly when we are we going into spoilers or no?
Like, what do you mean? Like the very ending of it? Like
when they think that he is the devil. When he's starting to convince the one that he's the devil.
Oh, I thought you were meaning like the very, very ending of the movie. Like,
no.
I actually really loved that third act, like when Ralph Fiennes was like trying to convince Jimmy Crystal that he was the devil. And they do it in such a creative way that I certainly wasn't expecting them to go for. Like they go for like a whole Iron Maiden style third act, which I absolutely loved. Like,
which did not work for me. But that's a subjectivity of film. That's a subjectivity of film. But for me, the heart of this film is the relationship between him and Samson, because we have a whole lot of character development and character growth from Samson. Because in the first film, he wasn't really talking. He was more a wrecking machine who ripped people apart and ate them with a big dick. Now he's actually a character. He has feelings. He has a friend now. And I really enjoyed that portion of it. Yes, there are bloody and gory moments, but that third act is where the movie started to go downhill for me. However, after we see what happens to him, then it started to pick up in the last like 10 minutes. But that third act, for most of it, I was not into it. But then again, I'm not into like the whole devil worshipping type of stuff in films. That's not for me. It's just not my thing. But if it works, I will give it credit. For me, it did not work, but I love that everybody else loves it. I love that everybody else loves The Bone Temple. I pretty much prefer the first one more, and I think that 28 years later is the best out of the four films so far, and hopefully we do get a third one.
I think we will, even though The Bone Temple bombed. But I know we will get that third film at some point, though, because this film does once again end off in a cliffhanger.
Yep.
But not as big of a cliffhanger as 28 years later did. Like,
nope.
Like that was easily one of my biggest gripes with 28 years later. It wasn't because it was a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
It was how they executed the cliffhanger. It was just so random.
And I was gonna go into that too. They showed up out of nowhere.
Right, but like once you get into that stuff in the Bone Temple with how they opened the film, and especially with how the Jimmy cult like later goes on, especially the barn scene.
Yep.
It becomes terrifying.
It becomes terrifying. And if they would have extended it out another 10 to 15 minutes, I think the movie would have been better as a whole.
But no, they introduced the Jimmies and then the movie ends, and then like that just leaves you going right into the Bone Temple.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you watch it, like if you watch 28 years later and then the Bone Temple back to back, it's a much better experience.
Yeah. I'm gonna fly through the rest of these as quick as possible. after the 28 years later films, I watched When Harry Met Sally, one of my all-time favorite films. It is now, right now, it's my number 7 favorite film of all time. I watch this frequently because it's a comfort film, but I mainly watch this. What happened there?
What did you do?
I don't fucking know what I did. Spank my ass and call me Jimmy.
I thought we said no cursing.
I watched this mainly because I did an interview, and the person that we were talking to mentioned that this was a great film, and I'm like, you want to know what? I guess that's my sign to watch it again. What is not a great film, however, is Blessings in Disguise, a Great American Family film. However, I will say this: it's not all that bad either. It's just not very good. There are moments where they could have not shoehorned in all the religious stuff in and made it a normal romance film, romance TV film that I watch all the time, like with Hallmark films. These are the same things. However, they shove it into a religious story. It's just not memorable. But you know what's funny here, Luke?
What?
Look at these two stars here, right? Shay Robbins and Casey Elliott.
Okay.
I know that you're not a viewer of these types of films. Well, this is not their first film together. As a matter of fact, they started a series of films called The Destined at Christmas. They decided to do this and Destined 2, Christmas One More Time, but they decided not to do a third one and just keep the same actors together.
That's just odd.
Granted, as many times as they showed those films, I'm sure that some people are tired of them. But regardless, I decided to watch Rope again. Rope, the Alfred Hitchcock film with James Stewart. Great film. Really enjoyed it. Barefoot in the Park. I saw this pop up on a Facebook reel short, whatever they call them on there. And I decided I want to watch that movie. I enjoyed it. There are portions of the film where it just drags out way too long, and it is a comedy, but it's not all that funny. You're mainly watching this first year of a marriage go down the tubes because they weren't really ready to be married. And they are learning to live with each other. It's a very mixed film. Frequency. This is a movie that I think that you're going to talk about later as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll keep mine very, very brief. This is a very interesting film, great plot, solid performances, and it feels very original. Next up, I watched What If. What If is a rom-com about these two friends who are in love with each other, but they don't want to ruin the friendship. And the girl is dating this one guy who treats her very, very well. But Daniel Radcliffe's character is just trying to be the best friend he can. He's trying to be the nicest person in the room while not being the biggest a-hole either because he loves this girl. There are multiple moments where they're flirting. There's some scenes where they're starting to get a little bit sexy and grabby. And there is a scene where they strip down nude, and Adam Driver and his girlfriend ends up stealing their clothes, so they have to sleep on the beach in a sleeping bag, nude together. That's a very interesting scene. I enjoy this film immensely. It is my bread and butter. Speaking of bread and butter, a royal setting. What we talked to Jen Lilly about. Sweet, sweet lady. Check out our interview on the Heartfelt Hallmark podcast channel and give that a like and subscribe. I did not like this movie all that much. Pretty much what this movie is about is it's about this woman who is a gemologist, and she's making this crown for the prince who is going to be coronated. And you don't see a lot of that. There's not a lot of chemistry between her and Dan either. It's mostly just a subpar Hallmark film with almost zero chemistry. Jen Lilly is very good in here, but she's good in every film. I enjoyed her her dynamic with this character named George as well. When his actual name is Fred or vice versa, that was very funny, but it was not my favorite. Cigarettes and Coffee. This was a short directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, Paul Thomas Anderson from 1993. I saw it on YouTube, and I figured I would watch it. It's a solid little 20-something minute short, very well worth it. Drive, great film. I went, let's go on a Nicholas Winding Refn kick. Yeah,
I'll say this for context here really quick, if you don't mind, Noah.
Yeah.
So when me and Noah were on call the other day, he told me he was kind of going on a bit of a kick for Nicholas Winding Refn. And then after he watched The Neon Demon, and I was like, if you can handle watching a Nicholas Winding Refn film, then you should have no problem watching a movie directed by Gregg Araki.
Exactly. However, I will say there is one scene that I don't think that Araki would even do.
No, he would not. If you've seen, I haven't seen The Neon Demon, so.
Ooh,
but
wow.
You have told me about this one particular scene when we were on call the other day, and I was like, I do not say anything more. I'm going to watch this one at some point. I've been wanting to see it, but I just need to mentally prepare myself.
Mentally prepare yourself, and don't watch it as your final film at night. Watch it, and then watch something a little bit happier.
You could have you could just have this one as your middle film of the day or something like that. Dude, when you're on a movie binge or something like that, what I was doing that one day when I watched Mysterious Skin for the first time. I started off with War Machine, then went to Mysterious Skin, and then went to somewhat kind of a chill movie like Inherent Vice, but at the same time it wasn't really a chill film. It was kind of more a boring movie.
Exactly.
But still it was something it was something a bit more laid back. It wasn't something so messed up or something where it's something that you just can't physically handle.
Exactly.
But physically or mentally handle, is what I meant to say. But that's kind of what I'm getting at here with with what you've said about The Neon Demon is kind of how I view ways of watching movies. Have this one as your middle film of the day if you're on a film binge. Never watch this one first or last.
And I made the mistake of watching it first.
Yeah, I would just say whenever I watch it, this will be my middle film of the day, or maybe my second film, just not the first one.
Speaking of Refn, then I watched Bronson. I did not like this film very much. This was a very loud, screamy film where Tom Hardy is very good, but this was not for me. My least favorite of his by far. I would rather watch The Neon Demon over Bronson again, which is saying something. I would be, because I will never watch The Neon Demon again.
That's kind of crazy that you say that, but I mean, I loved Bronson. I mean, maybe Nicholas Winding Refn, maybe not your cup of tea.
Yeah,
but I love Drive, love Bronson, and I loved Only God Forgives. So.
Which is one that I will talk about here in just a minute. Which a little bit of a caveat there. But the Red Badge of Courage. So when I was on my way home one day, and I'm like, let me just stop in the library bookstore. And it was actually this past Wednesday, right, Luke? This past Wednesday, I think.
Or was it on Monday?
Monday. And I called you, and I'm like, Luke, there's some stuff here I think you might like. So I rattled off some things, and then I'm like, they have a lot of older classic films too. So we went into that, and this is directed by John Huston. John Huston. Who is the director of The Maltese Falcon. There we go.
Yep, which is one of my favorite noir films.
So This is a war film, and it is very good. They had almost no budget here. It is very, very good. It's only an hour and 9 minutes, and it moves so fast. It's insane. So, again, I went to the library and I picked some stuff up for me, and I picked some stuff up for Luke. And the movies I watched for Luke, or that I bought for Luke, I am watching before I send them to him. And The Red Badge of Courage was one of those. Very good film, Luke. I think you're going to really enjoy this. This is a great film to watch in the middle of the day because it's very short, and you can just move on to another film if you need to.
There we go.
Which is what I did. I went into The Sitter-Downers, which is another Three Stooges short that became one of my favorites. This is all about the Stooges who become famous as Sitter-Downer fiancés because the dad won't let them. And once they get there, they bought a house. They didn't know that they were supposed to build the house. And their wives go, no honeymoon until the house is built. So they start to build the house, and Curly has a sign. It's great. It's stupid. It's very violent too because they don't just smack each other. There's moments where they by accident hit their wives with a cinder block with a 2x4. It's very funny and it works. And to end it, Only God Forgives. I did not rate this one because I watched this early in the morning, and I'm not gonna lie to you, I fell asleep. But it's not because it's the bad thing. The score is beautiful. The score is great.
Also, Ryan Gosling's great.
In the morning.
Yeah, that's another one of those films. Never watch it early in the morning.
And I learned my lesson. And I literally said in my review here, I said, I'm not gonna lie, I fell asleep. The score was beautiful. It put me to sleep. I will be watching this next month in full, and I will be. I will be watching Only God Forgives in full. Love, Rosie. This is a movie that I thought was going to be a rom-com, and in a way it kind of is. This is all about this girl named Rosie, played by Lily Collins, and her friend, and you're basically seeing their lives as grown-ups. She gets pregnant, and she chooses not to go to school in the U.S. with him. He meets a girl, starts a life, but it's basically, we know how this goes. It's sort of like a when Harry Met Sally. It takes place over like 12 years, 12 to 14 years, and they've been friends for so long, but they obviously love each other. We know it's going to happen. The movie just ends in the wrong way where it's not good for either of the two characters. I'm just going to leave it at that. And to end, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I was supposed to see Mario Galaxy on the 1st as well. But something came up after I went to go and see Project Hail Mary, and I haven't yet. I will either be going to see the Galaxy movie tomorrow if my friend and his wife can go. We will see. I don't know. I will find out later, but if not, I will see it next week at some point. And speaking of the theater, my theater is finally getting Reminders of Him. I don't know if I'm going to go and see that in theaters. Potentially, it depends on my work schedule, but I don't know. And then to end the month, I wanted something short. It was raining outside. This is a comfort film, A Rainy Day in New York, with Timothy Chalamet and Selena Gomez. And also Elle Fanning, Dakota Fanning. I can't remember. I believe it's Dakota, or is it Elle? It's Elle Fanning. Very solid film. I enjoy it. So there is my list for it. And now let's go into Luke's.
All right.
And we will wrap this show up. We went way longer than I thought we would, but
I guess it's just how good we are with conversating about film, dude.
Exactly. And also, when we're great friends like you and I are, we can go on and on and on.
Like on for days, dude.
Exactly.
All right. So we are starting off with, once again, Project Hail Mary. I saw it for a second time on Monday. And I still loved it. I loved it I loved it pretty much about the same, or if not even more, the second time. It's so good. Dante's Peak, I was on my buddy Joel's channel, Dark Room Reviews. If you guys aren't subscribed to him, please go do so. Did a watch along for this. Fun little disaster flick.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing special, nothing groundbreaking. Some effects don't age very well, but it's fun. A fun little movie. And then Kaboom, another Greg Araki film. I'm almost done with this filmography. I've only got one film left. But this was a fun, like kind of cool, like trippy, like surrealist kind of movie. I think right now it's on Pluto TV. That was actually how I ended up watching it.
Okay.
It's interesting. Like, it's very stylistic, and it goes in some pretty interesting directions, although I did not like the ending at all.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ending kind of destroyed it. And then Thirst, this is a Park Chan-wook vampire film, and it is, oh man, it's something else, but it is unique. Like, I have to say that. Very unique vampire film. And then I watched The Testament of Anne Lee because it went down to $5 on Fandango at home. Shockingly, for a new release. It was good. Amanda Seyfried, I honestly think should have been nominated for Best Actress. That was one of, if not her best performance. I mean, I think 2025 turned in like two of her career best performances with that and The Housemaid. Like, she's great. Like, she's great in Testament of Anne Lee. And you do learn a lot about Anne Lee, but not a movie that you're going to revisit a ton.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's good, one-time watch. Joint Security Area, another Park Chan-wook movie. Very, very good. Nirvana, the band, the show, the movie. Oh my God. Crazy that a movie like this exists. It is hilarious. Like, one of the funniest movies I've seen this year so far. Like, people have said it's the funniest. I don't think it's as funny as Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, but it is hilarious. There's one particular bit in that film, that in this movie, that made me die laughing. Like, you'll know when you get there. Like, Noah, highest recommend I can give you right now is that movie. And then The Wolf of Snow Hollow, that's another one that Mike recommended to me. Kind of a Zodiac style mystery kind of werewolf movie.
Yeah.
Like, and but it's really solid. I really like that one quite a bit. It was something unique for the werewolf genre that we hadn't seen before. Then I watched a film called Tornado. I had heard about this film because of a trailer pack at my theater. I think I first got this one in front of Clown in the Cornfield because it was a IFC film, and I didn't really care for it all that much. Extremely generic action movie that just really went nowhere until like the last like 30 minutes. And then All the President's Men, fantastic drama, like fantastic legal drama, like one of the best performances from both Robert Redford and Dustin Hoffman. And then speaking of Robert Redford, also rewatched The Sting. Very old school kind of caper, because even though it's like a 70s movie, it's set in the 1930s.
Mm-hmm.
Very clever, like old school caper film, and also one of the best performances by Paul Newman. And then Cocaine Bear, did a watch along for that. Absolutely love that movie. Hilarious, and it's stupid in all the right ways. And then I watched a movie called Starry Eyes that kind of has this like bit of a message about the glam life of Hollywood in some ways. It's interesting. I found it kind of boring within the first 2/3. I was like, okay, this movie is not really heading anywhere. Like, I like where this is. It's interesting. It's not really heading anywhere. And then it goes bonkers in the third act, like bonkers. Like, they go all out with gore, and it is insane. Very, very cool movie. Pretty lethal. I was enjoying it when the action was on screen because there's a lot of really good gore, a lot of well-directed action scenes, some good choreography. But when it cut to Uma Thurman or the mob side of the story, I was getting bored to tears. I found it insanely boring whenever it did not focus on the action.
Mm-hmm.
Now, even though I love a good action film when it has a good story, like there's sometimes, of course, like where it's mindless and I have fun with it, of course, but it needed to focus more on the action for it to work. And I watched The Mortuary Assistant. That was my first film for the day.
Yay.
That is by far the most boring film I've seen all year. Awful movie. Mike and Nick and Alice. Very clever title, by the way. Definitely one of the funnier movies I've seen all year. James Marsden and Vince Vaughn provide very good chemistry along with Isaac Gonzalez. Very clever concept for a time travel comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And then Splendor, this was the second to last Gregor Rocky film that I needed to watch. Again, I have one more film left of his, and then I'm finished with my binge. Interesting enough, like rom-com, kind of like a three-way kind of rom-com. Like it's like you've seen like films like about like, you know, relationships like where it's like two different guys in love with one girl.
Yep.
Like, but of course you got a bit of a Gregor Rocky spin, of course. So it does it in an interesting way.
Mm-hmm.
So I liked it, but it's not one of my favorites of his by any means. And then Frequency. Noah was talking about this one earlier. Great emotional time travel movie. The chemistry between Jim Caviezel and Dennis Quaid is unmatched. Like you actually kind of buy that they're a father and son. So it's fantastic. Bambi: The Reckoning. I was on board for this Twisted Childhood universe, with the Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey films. I mean, Peter Pan's Neverland Nightmare wasn't all that great. I thought it was just okay. Bambi: The Reckoning is by far the worst one, in my opinion. And I used to really hate the first Blood and Honey, but not anymore. After talking to like Louis Santer and rewatching it, I'm like, this movie is not good, but I have some fun with it. But Bambi: The Reckoning, it takes itself way too seriously, and that's not what these films are supposed to do. Like, if you watch something like Screamboat, like they actually lean into the concept and actually have some fun with it. Mm-hmm. Bambi takes itself way too seriously. So yeah, didn't enjoy it at all. A Scanner Darkly, the most underrated and honestly my favorite of Richard Linklater's movies. Has that animation style of Archer, but this movie obviously came first. Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, the other one. Not the best one, but it is certainly the movie of all time.
Yeah.
And then I've checked out Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings for the first time. I absolutely love the first Pumpkinhead. It's one of my favorite 80s horror films. It could have been way worse. That's all I'm going to say. It could have been a lot worse. And then Inferno, this is another Giallo film from Dario Argento. I just don't think Giallo films are really up my alley. Like, they are not for me because I did not like The Beyond. I hated Deep Red. I did not like Tenebrae. I did really like The Stendhal Syndrome and Suspiria, but Inferno is, you know how he complains for certain films that are very style over substance. Inferno takes the cake. It is style over substance 101.
Okay.
And not in a good way. It has a cool style, though, I will say, but not a story that you can latch into. And then the last film to wrap it all up is SLC Punk, also known as Salt Lake City Punk, starring Matthew Lillard. You would think this would just be another comedic movie with Matthew Lillard. It's not. It actually goes in some pretty dark directions that I wasn't expecting. Like, it's more of a drama. It has some comedy within it, but like it is more of a drama. And I really dug it. And again, Mike recommended it to me. So, brother, if you're watching, thank you for the recommendation because it is damn good. And that is it.
So we are going to tease a couple of things. Well, I'm going to tease a couple of things coming on the next show. So Luke and I are going to be watching some of the same things. We will be watching The Moment, Cold Storage, Dolly, and Super Mario Galaxy Movie, along with a lot more. But until next time, everybody, I'm going to let the guest promote all his stuff. Luke, where can we find you on social media and on YouTube? What do you have coming up?
Well, I've got I'll say right now, Luke Ponto 23 on Instagram. My profile pic is Count Orlok from this movie right here, Nosferatu. Always got to point that out. On Letterboxd, it's my first and last name, Luke Ponto. Of course, my YouTube channel, same thing. But as far as content, I still have to work on my monthly ranking. I've been falling behind as of recently, but I will probably work on that tomorrow. On Sunday, more than likely at 8 o'clock Central Standard Time, I will be doing a watch along to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Beavis and Butthead Do America. Very, very excited for that. And then on Tuesday, we got another episode of Movie Fanatics with my co-host Michael, and it is going to be a celebration stream because we have reached 50 episodes of the show. Insane to think about. So we'll of course cover the weekend box office and maybe talk a little bit about Super Mario Galaxy. But after that, it's gonna be a casual hangout stream. So I'm looking forward to that. Yeah, but besides that, nothing too much else. But actually that April 12th, that Sunday, we'll be doing a watch along for the 1999 action classic, The Mummy. Mm-hmm. To build up for, of course, Lee Cronin's The Mummy, which I'm looking forward to. So that's what I've got coming up, like close for this time as of right now. But anyways, yes, that's where you guys can find me. And of course, subscribe to my channel and subscribe to Noah, because this guy, he's an awesome guy. I don't know what else to tell you. Like, just subscribe to his channel, watch his content. He's a cool dude.
And as always, guys, you know where you can find me. You can find me here on YouTube, Noah Kaser, Instagram, Noah_Kaser, and you can also find me at the Heartful of Hallmark podcast channel with my co-host Kirsten and all our guest stars. We do have a brand new interview with Jen Lilly, and we got a couple more coming up down the line. If you haven't checked out any of them, here is a little bit of a taste of what we have done in the past and some of the stars. So enjoy this intro. Until next time, everybody, like, subscribe for more, and I'll see all of you guys next time.